And good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. It is Friday, 8/22/2025. If you'll take a moment to read this, past performance is not indicative of future results. You can lose your backside day trading. Please make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, so number one, right? Let me cover the first things first. Um, the Today we have both the Fed speaker and President Trump is making an announcement right when the Fed speaker is making his. The liquidity has been thin. Expect slippage, expect wild, fast rotations. That's all there is to it. So the first thing I want to cover before I go into the zones, which everyone already knows, and they already know all the setups, let's cover the new Trader Assist. So today, because of the illiquidity and all that, I'm just not running anything. I'm not trading it. I'm not running it. I don't care. I get paid on almost every day, not every day, but almost every day, and I don't need to put myself at risk today. Pretty straightforward, right? So this is the new Trader, and I'm going to show you. There's two versions of it that have been sent out. One version trades only in the zone, and one version trades everywhere. So let's look where it's trading everywhere to start with, and then we'll work our way backwards from there. So hold on one second. And it's only on ES this weekend. I'm on NQ. ES version will be out this weekend. Okay, so let's look at yesterday where it took the trades. We'll just go from the AM session. This makes two assumptions. A, the trade could have been filled, and that B, you were willing to trade it, right? So we'll just pick it up right from 8:31. I'm just going to show you what's eligible to be traded. Obviously, it has to fit the parameters in terms of actual speed to get filled. But what we're isolating down on is all the variants of the green algo, right? So orange, white, green, and blue. Okay, and it's long only. So this is without a zone, right? So these are trades that would take. Trade 1, trade 2, trade 3, stop. The stop needs to be opposite on this, not the trade most definitely needs to be opposite. Okay. So this one's red, right? Again, this all assumes these would have filled, and we clearly know some of them would not have filled. It was just too fast in some cases. Okay, so that's the loss. Trade. I'm just going to go through it. So because what I want everyone to see, whether you have the Trader Assist or not, look at the. I want you to see the wins. So this is stop. Okay. Win. This is no zone, not in support. It's just taking it everywhere, right? Except it does have to be at the mid of the channel. So I will correct that. So we can just zoom through this because we know what filled and what didn't fill. Long. Okay, so notice when it gets slower, that's in a fast market and it couldn't generate that algo, right? But I want you to see the win rate on this thing is really good. I'm adjusting the break even to 20 points, meaning when it goes to 20, it'll go to break even because it's getting so many of these extensions. Okay, this again, I'm running this on Monday. Okay, so there's other algos in there. So the one I'm going to run is I'm going to run it tiered. And what we'll do with the help of Sean, we'll tier it so that this algo will get the priority. In other words, if this trader takes the trade, the other trader, the algo will not take it. So it'll be on the higher tiered extensions for the trade, right? So, and so as you're going through, long, that touched the mid of the channel, long. And again, you can see the extensions when we have nice wide markets, paid. And that's pretty much the end of the day, I believe. And then as you go back, right, so just so you know, it's not just, oh, it's super volatility. Here's what it looks like when it's a bit slower. So it changes, obviously all our risk is when it rolls to the downside, right? And we all know the risk in the first half hour. So these are the trades. This is back on August 13th when it was slow, right? Trade, stop, trade. So it's a little bit different picture, right? Because the rotations are smaller. and we're just in a slow market. That's a stop for me because my extensions would be bigger, right? So you're going to see how in higher volatility, you're going to want to run one model, and the other lower volatility, you're going to want to trade in the zones. That's why there's two traders, right? So this goes stop, stop, paid, right? And again, you can see here, if you're, okay, so if you're doing the quick scales, you're fine, right? But stop, because you're not getting big extensions, right? And what you're gonna have to do is locate that back in the zone. So what this is a pretty easy formula, right? When the VIX is above 17, 18, you're gonna wanna run it all over the place, right? Because it trades very, very nicely. When it's not in the zone, you're gonna wanna run it. And by the way, that just nicked, and you'd have to manually take that back in, right? So you can see where it'll struggle. If you go to a little bit different place before we really died on volatility, here, let me do this really quick. So again, the zone traders should fix that. If we go like 60 days back, which should load pretty quickly. Again, I'm not trading the first few minutes. If that's important to you, you probably need to jump off, right? Actually, I'm not trading at all today, now that I think about it. I'm not trading, so no big deal. Okay, so here's a little bit ways back when we had more volatility here. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning of this day. This is just July 1st. See, all the way through that first half hour, it did not. So trade one. This is why you have to have the other algo. This is for when the market's bumping and it's running, it'll get paid. Trade two. Trade four. I think that's the end of the day right there. Right? So that's a good day. That's kind of what we're shooting for. We're not shooting for the over hyperactive, get hit. The other trader will pick up plenty of trades. It's on a short leash. It should do just fine. Right? Here's the next day. This is Tuesday the 2nd. So we get to 8:30. Let's see how it did. Okay, so trade one, you can see we're in trend up. Depends on how you scaled that, but I'm going to count that as a stop, right? I know it went to profitability, but yeah, trade two. And trade two didn't take. You had one stop there that day, which is totally fine. Again, that was trend up, and we'll usually, we'll know how to handle those days pretty easily. Here's the day after trend up, right? And you can see some days it'll just go and not get anything in the morning. You need the other algo, like white stuffed, right? This is not to get rid of it. This is to get the bigger extensions. Trade one, trade two, and we may need to put in Asia. Here's Sunday night. Okay, so this is Monday morning, 8:30. That would have been a stop. We're not running it the first 5 minutes, so no big deal. Really, that's trade one, trade two, trade three stops. I'll probably put the trap back in on that. I'll get that done this weekend. And trade four, even with the stop. I'm not trying to cover off the stop. It just clearly needs it, right? With the trap back in. Stop. This is both the trap back in and the other setup. You obviously cover that off. And trade, and you need the trap back to capture that, otherwise that stops. And this we won't be able to program, but this is obviously immediate trap, and then manually you'd want to take that trap back in on that, guys, just so you know. Paid, this is both a trap and a valid entry. Oh, that's a 1700, so 1500 and 1700. It works overnight as long as we have range throughout the course of the day. See, this trade right here is a potential stop for me. Let me tell you why. We're in trend up, we've come down, right? And I'm looking for that 50-60 back. Okay, so what I need to know is where the resistance is. If this is resistance, this is just a trade and I'm going to pop this out. If the resistance is all the way up here, I'm going to try to push that trade. That's 702, so I'm not doing anything. Or if I'm doing it, it's manual. But like, okay, like if I get, see how we've pulled back here? If I get a trade here, right? So this has gone supernova. So there's obviously lots of strategies on how you're going to handle that, but like that's 20 points right out of the gate and move the stop to break even. This is a flat out stop for me, and then this is obviously paid, but you don't get the big swing out of that. This is stopped, but again, this is paid here. And look, I know it's hard when we're doing it statically and we go back and we're just doing it statically and we're looking at the different trades, and it's hard to tell because you have to pretty up all the pictures to get it to look right. We don't have to do that, right? We don't have to do that. What we do is when we come over, the chart looks like this, right? It goes, oh, we're into resistance. Like if I get my signal right here, right? If I get my signal right here, let's say I got this long here, I'll go, well, I'm going to slam right into resistance there. I'm not pushing that trade. What I want it to do is I want it to come, what I want it to do is go over, come back, and then give me my signal right there for the push out, right? That's just basic 101 of our room trading, right? So like this trade, if this took, if this star down green bar printed here, just like this one did. So when I get this printed, right, what am I shooting for? Well, I'm going to look on it and go, oh, well, I'm shooting for 23,347, right? Or Globex high. One of these I'm shooting for the upside push. More so, what I'd really like to happen is that I would like it to come down here, give me this signal, and then I go, oh, look, I got the signal and support. And the other support's all the way over at 23,347, right? So if I came down here, I'd measure out like the 50, 60s back from the swing high, scale, and then go Adam style and go, it's risk-free off. I'll leave a portion of my trade to shoot to the other side, because let's say the trigger fires at 23,140. Well, that's a 200-point trade or $4,000 a contract. If I just leave one contract on, I get paid. Additionally, I'm going to pay attention in NQ, right? So this I don't talk a lot about. See how ES is hitting this resistance point, and it may break through and it may not. If I take the long right here, which the algo would not have in the first few minutes, I'm going to go, hey, hey, we're jamming into ES. So I know it's unlikely that NQ is going to go without ES. Even if I don't have a support resistance there in NQ, I'm going to look at that and go, no, I'm probably scaling off as ES is pushing in, right? If you look at this entry, let's pretend like this executed and we start trading right out of the open, right? Your entry is 23,225. You've already rotated up to 23,258. 30 points, $600 a contract. This stop, let's say you took 3 contracts, right? You rolled 20 and 30 on your scales. And so you got 20, 30, you've got $500, and let's say $400 and $600. You have $1,100, right? And you leave that last contract, you say my stop's right here, it's going to be 18 points. You're going to still end up net profitable, right? Or whatever structure you want in terms of mathematics, right? And you go, okay, let's see if it breaks through, but if it comes back and stops me, okay too, no problem, right? That's how you want to run this algo. And then what you already know from looking at this, when the volatility gets very low, i.e. 14 or below on the volatility, A, you got to scale more quickly, and B, you want to trade out of the zone. So now you have 2 weapons at your disposal. One weapon goes, hey, I'll trade anywhere because the volatility is high and I'm getting these big extensions. One weapon's going to say, no, volatility sucks. I've got to be in the zone in order to take my trade, and I got to be prepared to take the trap back in, and I probably want to reduce my size a little bit because we're not gangbusters to the upside, right? If you do both those pieces, right, and you get good at mastering when one goes and when the other one goes, and what you'll want to do is both, right? One, you'll want to say, in high volatility, right, I just want this thing to fire for me, right? It just pays me, I want to get the big extensions. But when you're in low volatility, you want both of these, both the zone trader and this and the other algo to fire. So you're going to end up with the best of both worlds, right? The other algo we'll either remove this specific combo or it'll defer to the scales that are on this trader as far as the zone trader goes, right? And then it'll take the rest of the trades, right? That's what I was trying to communicate. So that's my 2 cents. There's not much else to say. You know, you can see we're not as volatile as we were yesterday. It's dramatically slower than it was. I don't know if we have econ this morning because I didn't even bother looking. I'll go log in and pull the data. Nothing. Collins speaks at 8 o'clock. Powell keynote speeches at 9 o'clock. And Trump has an announcement at 11 o'clock. So there you go. So Powell's in 30 minutes. I don't know why it was at noon, but well, everyone thought it was at noon, but he's in 30 minutes. So I don't know what people are expecting, but yeah. So at any rate, Bill and I both agree this algo isolates us down on our this trader assist isolates us down on our best trade, hands down. It's very good. You're welcome to back test it, break it, do whatever you want, but where this one has difficulty is an uber low volatility, right? So you just gotta know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. It's as simple as that, right? And you can see in high volatility, it's just great, right? Like that's just beautiful. Why did we fire there? Why did we fire here? Hold on, you know what, Bill? No, this is perfect. Done. And then we fired here again. Perfect. Okay. That's exactly what we wanted, right? So if you're manually trading and you're not using the trader assist, I suggest very strongly that if you have to make money, you're like, Simon, I gotta make money, that's what you look for, right? All the algos are good. That's what you look for. Okay. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. I will talk to you. I'm gonna chat with my wife and I'll talk to you all in a little bit. Does anyone have any questions about the day? We know where the support resistance areas are. You know what the risk is with regards to this day. We just go from there. So Powell, 9 a.m. Everyone good in the room? Everyone understand? No confusion? I am recording this. Brian. You bet. I've got nothing else to add, guys. Make money. Don't lose money. Don't go on tilt. Same thing I'd say to myself. Same thing my wife would say to me. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll be back in like just a couple minutes.
Okay. So you seem anxious.
I am. I gotta go take my propanol.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that. But have you taken any today at all?
Have not. So let me go do it. I'll be right
I
back.
think that would be a good idea. I'll walk back with you. We can talk.
Okay.
Because I've got an appointment at 9. And I need you to confirm that. I can go in and do it on your phone. The pickup.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it
yeah,
for you.
and I sent. Let's just talk about it. And there's a perfect example of the algo doing what it's supposed to do. So anyways, I'm going to end the recording. It'll be on YouTube and I'll post it